baby. How's everybody doing today? All right. I'm gonna talk to y'all a little later. I want y'all to listen to something. After this song, we have the minister gonna speak. Not a minister, but you hear it. Okay, it's 9 o'clock.
Assalamu alaikum. You all may be seated. great to be back. Can you all hear? Do you all hear in the back? It's great to be home, and it's better to be invited home. My brother, I call him my brother because we grew up. I don't know anyone else as my brother as I do Brother Robert, the one that just spoke. So I consider him to be my brother. And from the work that I'm in or what I'm doing and actually who I really am, they say Jesus' brother was named James. So perhaps that's the brother that I have. Today, we are celebrating the messenger's birthday. And I thought it would be appropriate after being invited here that we have it today. It was initially for the 17th, I think it was. But we wanted to get close to the messenger's birthday, which is on the 7th of this month. And I'll soon be going to Chicago, so it was going to be pushing me a little close to have it on the 17th. So Brother Bobby and Brother Avery, Brother Jimmy, my brother-in-law, they went to work and got me here, so I'm here. And I appreciate what you all have done. I appreciate the invite and to host us as we share what we have with you all. I see my mother-in-law is here, so I hope everyone that came to see what has been missing or see what I've been doing for the past 33 years since I've been here with any notoriety. To see if I have developed on the right side, or am I someone that you should pray for? But I think you're going to like this afternoon. Those of you, I don't recognize too many, I guess because of my absence. But those of you that have come for understanding, have no fear about asking whatever you want to ask, whatever it is. If it's about the Bible, the Quran, about the messenger, about myself, about yourself, about your husband, about your children, whatever, even today, why it's a little cloudy. Do not restrain yourself on whatever you want to know. Everything that is of importance has already been predicted or prophesied to take place. This meeting today, here, I was reading in the Holy Quran, I think it's chapter 18, around the 60th ayat or surah, and it describes Moses, which is actually the messenger, wanting to travel with this wise man. Now, I hope you all follow me, stay up with me. This wise man initially didn't want to take Moses with him because he knew that he was not going to understand what he was about to see him do, and he would be a nuisance. But he permitted him to go after Moses begged him, could he go with him? He says, well, yes, if you promise to wait until the end of the journey before you ask anything of me. Well, the first thing that happened, are you all listening? The first thing that happened, the wise man got to a river where some people had their boats tied up that earned their living by fishing. He knocked a hole in the boats, and the boat sank. Moses right away asked him, well, why would he do that? So he said, well, I told you you couldn't follow me. He said, okay, I won't say anything else. So they went on, and they came to another place, a little town, and this wise man killed a little boy. Well, that took the cake with Moses. He says, no, you've gone too far now. This is an innocent boy. He hasn't done anything to anyone. Why would you kill him? He says, well, listen, I told you you were going to be a nuisance. You wasn't going to be able to, you go. He said, oh, no. Suffer me a little longer. You know, I won't say anything. So the next place they got to was a town, and they were hungry. He and Moses. Nobody would feed them. But they had a wall there in the town, And the wise man, the wall was falling down. The wise man repaired it, stood it back up. So Moses asked the wise man, said, you knocked holes in the people's boats so they couldn't earn a living. You killed an innocent boy. Then you come to a place where they won't feed you, and you fix a wall for them. At least you could make them pay you so we could buy something to eat. So the wise man told Moses, said, well, let me tell you what actually happened or why I did all of these things. Now, I want you all to follow what's being said here. This is in the Quran. You can read it for yourself. And all of the books that's concerning Allah or righteousness is always talking about something in the front of you before it happens. Allah don't ever operate in a way where he's talking about something that already happened. He can't prove that he's Allah. If you say, well, hey, I knew that happened yesterday. But if he tells you what's happening before it happens, and then you come to it, then you have to say, well, this man must be Allah, or he must be a righteous man. He must be an intelligent man, and especially if it's explained to you in a way where you can use mathematics and prove it. Not your feelings and not what you think, but if you use the formula of creation, which is called mathematics, and if it works out, that bears witness to its own self, if you're intelligent, you have to bear witness with it. Now, getting back to the story, the wise man told him, said, well, the men that owned the boat earned their living by it, it's true. But the king was seizing all boats and also killing the occupants of it. So I punched a hole in the boat so they couldn't go out. Then the next town I got to, the boy that I slew was a very unruly or very demonic boy. His parents were righteous. If he was allowed to live, he would persuade them into unrighteousness, or he would carry on works as though he was a demon. So we took that son and gave them a righteous son. Now, when we got to the town, there were two orphans, twins there in this town, twins that were orphans. And their parents were righteous, but they had passed. But the parents, before they passed, they left a treasure buried under the wall. The wall had almost fallen down, so to keep anyone from finding the treasure, he erected the wall back up, or he fixed it back up, to allow them to grow, to reach a time where they could actually get their inheritance or the treasure that the father had left for them. Then Moses understood why the man did what he did. This is something that is just now coming out or catching up with the history that was wrote, or the story that was put in the Quran is just now coming to fruition. The town can be very easily be called San Domingo or Sharptown. When I was brought here, I wasn't born here. My real parents or my real brothers and none of my real kin that I know of resided here. I was brought here as a twin, and my twin was brought with me. I was brought first, and then shortly thereafter, she was brought. Now today, we'll see if I really have an inheritance and have received it. Now, any treasure that's laid up under any wall or any bank or any place that God has for you, it is never the physical. It is never the tangible. You all follow what I'm saying? It's the same principle as, instead of giving you fish, I teach you how to fish. And you go and get as much as you want. So this is the same thing when Allah makes a person or gives you a reward or gives you a treasure. It is always knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. This allows you to be free to do whatever you please, as long as it's right. If you use it wrongly, you can do that too. But then it comes to an end, because in the truth is already built in safety zones. If you go the wrong way with it, it has an end, and it'll bring you to an end. But if you go the right way, there's no end to it. Is that understood? So today, I want to express and share with you all here some of the treasures that I have gotten from under the wall. This place here is called San Domingo. And you know, sand don't produce anything. It's dead. And if people live in the desert, if water isn't brought in, then they can't stay there very long. If food isn't transported in, you can't stay there very long. So now, but in order for people or a person not to suffer the pain of being wanting or in wanting of things that you need, it is best that the person be styled as being dead, meaning that you're not really conscious of what's going on. So you are able, it makes it possible for you to suffer some things that you wouldn't normally do. This is why it's written, or we often hear people say, well, you know, fools rush in, where wise men fear to tread. Because you're wise, it don't let you do many things. Fools, you don't know you're doing wrong, so you just do it and suffer the consequence. And usually it's always sin that we do when it's wrong. So when you live the life of a sinner, you die the death of one. And the book reads, the wages of sin is death. But however, Allah says, my people will lose their life for the lack of knowledge. Not because you sinned, although you're sinning, because when you don't have knowledge, you are bound to sin. But when you don't have knowledge, you lose your life. You don't give it up, you lose it. Now, with that, have you all formed any questions that you would like to ask of me? I want to say this while we have a mic there. If you want to come up and ask whatever you want to ask. But during the time while you were coming up, I'd like to say something concerning the messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He's styled as our mother. If you want to read about him in the Bible, it's in Revelation chapter 12. It's talking about a man, or it lets us know about a man that calls him a woman that's standing on the moon, clothed in the sun, with 12 stars around her head. I think that's in the 12th chapter. But at the same time, she's, well, pregnant or about to give birth to this child. And the child is styled as being a man-child. So this wasn't really no physical birth. This is a spiritual birth. Because no woman is going to give birth to a man, but yet the man is a child. The true meaning of that is the knowledge that this person comes in contact with, or that naturally belongs to him. When he starts to get it, he's already a man as far as the stature of a man. But because it's new to him, it's like he's a baby with the knowledge. But the one that gave birth to him is styled in reality as Elijah. Now, we can see another part in Book of Malachi that bears witness to that. The Lord or Jehovah or Allah is telling us, just before the great and dreadful day, and we got to admit that it's dreadful. You just haven't seen the great part yet. I'm about to show you a glimpse of it today. The dreadful is already here. But just before that, he would bring to you the prophet Elijah. And his duty was to turn the hearts back to the fathers back to the children, and the children back to the father. He didn't say mothers, but to the fathers. And that's the purpose of that, is because the father is one that makes things happen. He's responsible for creation. He's responsible for the maintaining and the upkeep of the female. Is that clear? Well, Elijah was here. 40 years plus, he was here and active against all of us, of his own people, that rejected what he said or brought to us. A few accepted it. However, out of all that accepted, there was one that's pronounced. And he's called the Son of Man, Joshua, Jesus Christ, the Lamb, Solomon, and also the man-child. They're all the same person. From what he did as a mother, after my brother left the paper there, and I got in touch with this particular person, studied what he taught, and found out that I was born with the Spirit. But you need more than Spirit. Spirit alone is not enough. You have to have knowledge. Remember now, he says, my people lose their life because of lack of knowledge, not Spirit. But if I have the Spirit and the knowledge, then I'm one that you should listen to. Because this is something that, in a way, I don't have it where I can't share it, or it is not to be shared. In order for Allah to magnify himself, or have himself magnified, this has to be shared. And those of you that accept it will be just like him. You will be saved or quickened from his Spirit. Is that clear? Do we have any questions? Yes, sir.
Brother, you mentioned the word scientist. What is a scientist? Are we speaking of something in the spiritual or the physical realm? And my second question would be, the name Elijah. Is there any similarity between the name Elijah and Yahweh? Elijah, meaning that Yahweh is Elohim. Is there any significance, therefore, between the name Elijah and Yahweh Elohim? Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. I'll answer the Elijah. As far as Yahweh is doing any study into that particular name, I haven't done that. I have looked at what is being taught by Yahweh, some of the things that's being taught. However, what both parties are doing or attempted to do was to bring us into the knowledge that will save us, or into the knowledge of God himself, into a higher science. Yahweh, if I'm not mistaken, is a name that is given or a title to God. Elijah is not. It means close to God. So, by the definitions of the two names, they would have to be separate peoples. Their purpose is the same, but one is to lead people to one or to the other. However, Allah has many names that people call him by, and one is Yahweh, another is Jehovah, and some call him just plain God. But those names are attributes. They are not complete in their meaning if you're going to actually refer to the Supreme Being. It's not enough just to say that. It's like most people pronounce my name, say Royal, and they spell it with one L, R-O-Y-A-L. That's not the way my name is spelled. It's spelled with two L's, R-O-Y-A-L-L. Now, if you go from the meaning of that, Roy in English means to judge. If you just left it with A-L, you can say that's the person's name, Al. So I just judged that one person. But if you go from the meaning of all, it's a big difference. So it's the same thing with Elijah. He's close to Allah. But Yahweh, Jehovah, Jesus Christ, all these particular names are not the fullness of the Creator. The Supreme Being, his proper title, not his name, but his title, has got to be Allah. This means all in all. There is nothing left. Nothing. Even when it comes to Satan, he didn't bring Satan into existence, but because of his own existence confirms Satan's existence. So he still has authority over that. So he encompasses that also. So that's the better title. Now the person that actually wears, or that actually is the person that fits the title, his name has to go along with the title. He can't come and say, well, my name is Jehovah. The word Jehovah, or the name Jehovah, means he who causes all things to exist. But that's not enough. If it exists, and if it's from the Creator, who's going to keep it? Who's going to maintain it? Who's going to cherish it, nourish it? So we like it. Now, does that answer that part of the question? All right, now, as far as the scientists, in the book, in the Bible, the people that we refer to as scientists, because Elijah was the one that referred to them as scientists, and that's the proper name for them. Because when you do study of any particular thing or matter, you have to use mathematics. Even when they built this building, it was still mathematics that they had to use. So when you become a scientist, especially in the term of righteousness, you're always studying something that is not seen. You just get a sign of it or a hint of it. So now, in order to make the unseen seen, you have to know how to combine the numbers to produce something tangible or physical to bear witness that it was there, but you just didn't see it. So we have people that is already prophesied in the book. They're called elders. The 20 and the 4 elders that way it reads in the Revelation in the Bible. Well, these are the same people that we speak of as being scientists. These people have studied creation and the Creator, and can prove without a shadow of a doubt who the Creator is and his scheme of life to anyone that wants to listen. So now, when this spiritual son, or anyone as far as that's concerned that is spiritual, is to grow in the knowledge of Allah or truth, you have to study the signs. Now, the people that put the signs there are what we call the scientists. In other words, to carry on a conversation with me, to make this man child, the man, and the word man means to control. You know, you in charge. What are you in charge of? Even if you're in charge of yourself, everything in the universe is entailed in the making or in the creation of this body. So if you just man that, you have mastered creation. Now, to keep them from a burden coming physically, every time they want to speak to a person, come physically to see them, like I come from Washington, D.C., drove down here to speak to y'all. Well, if all of you all want to be righteous, I can't go to everybody's house. So I have to know how to use the elements or things that you use every day to talk to you. And I have to talk to you in hints and clues and signs. So the people that taught me are gods at it. They're not just ordinary scientists. And they're not the scientists that what we see white people do, trying to get to the moon and things of that nature. These are scientists that know how God created everything. And they know how to send signs to you to let you know, well, I better go and see what this brother Solomon is talking about. You know, and you know, Islam, as far as the way the messenger taught it, didn't come no further than across the bridge over there in Cambridge. I think that's where you had your temple. Is that right, Brother Avery? It didn't come no further. It didn't come in Salisbury. It didn't come down here to Sharptown. I think after Warwick Dean started, you got a temple over in Hurlock. But that wasn't the messenger's temple. So this is almost like virgin territory. What you would want to know, I will give you the answer to it in a way where it would lead you into things that you don't know. And it causes a growth that you will never be the same anymore. And no one that is your enemy, or that would be your enemy, would be able to do any harm to you. as you grow. It's the same process as you being a child from your mother. In the beginning, she has to take care of everything for you. But if you keep living and everything is developing properly, you grow from your parents. You know, you don't grow closer. You grow from them bodily. But if they brought you up right, you grow closer spiritually. So I don't care how far they are from you physically, you don't forget them and they don't forget you. They're always sending gifts, words of encouragement, concerns, or however. Is that clear? Did that answer your question? Are there any more questions? Yes, sir. Come right to the mic, brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I come from a town, come down from New Jersey, and, you know, I'm kind of confused. I come down here, and, you know, during my times that I've been in Cambridge, I came down to Cambridge, Maryland, and I've been asking, why is it that we don't have the temples or certain organizations down here in Cambridge where we can unite black brothers and sisters, you know, and come together in unity? I have yet to see that in Cambridge and in these lower towns. I don't understand. There's more, and there's a lot of young brothers and sisters that I've talked to. I'm a Muslim myself, and I've been a Muslim for 5 years. And I can't understand why is it that, you know, we have young seekers out there that wants to come into Islam as if they're seekers, and there's no temples there around there.
All right, you can stand at the mic if you like, because you might want to ask me something else about this. Allah always plans well in advance. In other words, He don't move today for today. If you remember, were you here when I was going over the story of the wise man?
No, I was not.
You weren't here. Well, this particular area, we're in the Delmarva Peninsula. You know what a peninsula is?
Yes, sir.
It's covered on 3 sides with water, right? And this particular place here, San Domingo, is like a desert. Now, when you have a desert, you either preserve something or you allow it to die. Now, the messenger was here 40-some years, and like you say, you're a young man, you've been accepted being a Muslim for the last 5 years. But however, here's a place that nurtured and brought up just by my name, royal. When you say it, it automatically, even white folks, you know, you go to school and they've taught you what royal means. It means kingly, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, that being true, and I was brought up here. I don't think I left here until I was 18. This meant that this place was somewhat like a place that preserved me. After I had to go away because there was no knowledge here. But now, since I've gotten the knowledge, that which was preserved, now it is time for it to come alive, but with pure truth. Not diluted, not tampered with, but pure. The ones that are here that are your age or younger or a slight bit older have the opportunity to be the new or part of the new and to bear witness that I am actually prepared by the powers of the universe, this particular area here. I am to erect buildings and do things that actually bring in the new that Revelation 21 talks about. So before that was to take place, we had to put this place like dormant. If you understand what I'm saying.
I understand.
So you come to Cambridge, you go to all these other places where now you see young people and they want to get together, but they can't because God said no. Now it's time, He's saying yes. I'm back. Jesus lived for 33 years, if I'm not mistaken, and said after 33 years, He passed. Well, I've been gone for 33 years, and we're going to turn that around. We're going to come alive. You see what I'm saying?
I understand.
Now, what I have to share with people is knowledge that makes you free, not something that is going to make you subject to me. You won't disrespect me, or matter of fact, you won't disrespect anything as far as that's concerned once you learn. But however, when you don't know, and the brothers and sisters that's around here now that hasn't heard this, that didn't accept it when they could have, or I won't say they could because Allah stopped it, but since they didn't, they have an opportunity now. We can cause our parents that are still living to be extremely happy and witness what God really can do and wants to do. None of us, I don't care who, I don't care how old you are or how young you are, no one as of yet have witnessed the power of Allah in a favorable condition yet. We got a sample of it through the messenger. But when you talk about the creator or the power of the supreme being, you're talking about power that's limitless. Now, you haven't done anything to warrant constant or perpetual misery. You are not old enough to do anything to warrant that. Well, if God is actually God, he has a duty at this time, and if he says he's coming in this time, when there's confusion in everything, even in heaven, meaning even in Islam, they're confused. Like one of the first statements you made, you were confused. Well, God has to bring that to an end. And after the confusion is ended, then start bringing the light. This is why in one part of the scriptures, I'm referred to as the spiritual sun that actually brings light to the darkness of your mind. And this area here is preserved, and we are taking the lid off the jar now, and we're about to break the seal. And the little towns that's around this place, we have Mardella, Delaware, Laurel, Del Mar. We got a lot of devil around here. And if you notice, whenever there's something great, Satan is always right there. He's always right there. If you go out at night and turn your light on, the bugs come right away. If you leave the light off, you don't hardly see them. When you turn the light on, they just come right. So it's the same thing here. They are already poised for what I'm about to do here. They're all around this area. So as soon as we start, they're not going to be able to stop anything, but they're going to marvel at what they see taking place here. You may be a very big help.
So how is it that we can come from the darkness and try to work our way to the light? Well, we're young seekers trying to strive on and further our knowledge in Islam, and we like to continue our studies, but there's no type of organizations here in the lower states where we can continue the knowledge and continue the study of Islam.
Well, this is what I'm bringing to the area now.
Okay.
We have a minister, we have a captain. In other words, we have the structure. And until it actually gets started, you know, this, it may seem like we're late, but the power of Allah is so magnificent and so magnified, and he moves with such speed, it don't take a lot of time. So it looks like, you know, it's like we've been down here a long time. The place is dead. Nothing seems to be going on. Nothing is happening. Overnight, things jump just like that when God is doing it. Matter of fact, the messenger, before he passed, told us that the black man, that the nation would fall and appear to be dead. Then it would rise again, and the black man would grow so fast, it would look like he was never down. Because the knowledge that you'd be operating on would be so stimulating and so advanced. The things that you were doing, it holds no credence. You forget it. It's like, you know, you went to sleep. You don't know what you did when you were asleep because you're not doing nothing. When you wake up, you start moving around. You don't remember sleep other than that your body feels rested. Well, this is the same thing with this. What we're doing here, since I'm here, and I've been preparing this for some time, my brother stuck with me. I won't say with me, but with what I've been sharing in the way of knowledge and intelligence to prepare someone that's stable in the area, that will be able to answer a question, because most things that we have to do are things that you've been doing all along, but you've been doing it backwards. If you turn it around, you'll see that it works, but it's hard to do that as long as it looks like the man that's been in control is still in control. So it looks harder to do right than it is to do wrong. But when you got somebody that is strong, like he said, he's standing upright. when you start to turn or fall and you grab hold to him, he don't fall down with you. It don't take but 2 or 3 times, and when you stand up that 3rd time, you ain't going down no more. You know, it's like when you go in the water. If you don't go down, if you don't bob down the 3rd time, you got it made. So this is what we're doing here. But to get it started now, we have an 800 number. I'm actually the builder of the house of the Creator, meaning here, really. And when I'm saying about the buildings, the physical buildings that I'm doing here, it's going to express intelligence or knowledge, God knowledge. The nation is operating in the form or the title of nation, but it's not doing anything to actually bring any relief to anyone. I'm not setting up anything outside the nation. I've gotten it, or the scientists and those that are teaching me and backing me have got a situation set up now where they're about to put me right into the position of the nation as the leader or the king. Not so much as the leader, but the king. Solomon was the king. And he guided people in and out of their affairs as they went about their daily living. So what you want to know is not so much as to follow anyone or get any groups. Now, this is something else that we have on our mind all the time. We want to get a group started. We want to get a program going. That's not what you want.
No, so all I'm saying is that, you know, we have a lot of young brothers and sisters, because I have what you could call a commune meeting at my house alone. I come from the city, I come down here, and I have no shame in speaking for Allah, you know what I'm saying, sharing the word of Allah from what I've been taught. So I have young seekers around my neighborhood, and they come to my house, and I share it with them, and we go, you know, we have commune meetings there, and we talk, and we speak on Allah, and I try to enlighten them, because the way they are walking, you know what I'm saying, is wrong, and it's unrighteous, and I try to make it, you know, help them and guide them, because it's my duty as a Muslim to guide my young brothers and sisters.
This is true.
So,
Well, we're like I'm saying before, we're setting it up here now, and we have an 800 number, and we have tapes, we have books. Bob, would you stand up so you can see you? Before you leave, you and the brother here get together, and whatever you need of what we're doing, I'm actually getting into the seat of the nation so that this can grow rapidly. So what you're wanting to do, whatnot, it'll be done from a structured thing, and the effort won't be so hard.
yes, sir.
You know, and you have someone to back you, if you understand what I'm saying.
I
So
understand.
this area here, the brother's already, well, I won't say been prepared, but his preparation is well on the way. Whatever you need, and I would suggest that you get, do you have the Messenger's literature?
I have some literature. I don't have it, the proper literature, so to speak, what I need to give them the truth,
All right.
so to speak.
All right, well, you see the brother here, and before we leave, our brother secretary is standing beside him. Before you leave, you make sure you see that, and whatever you need, we'll make sure you get it.
Okay, yes.
And, you know, I have quite a few tapes, because this is something that deals with your mind first. You can't just say, well, I want to be right, and you're just going to go and do right. You don't know what right is. You know, you go and you call yourself doing right, and the powers that is controlling everything now, they'll let you go so far. When you really got yourself tied up and can't go no further, then they come down on you. And you say, then you be looking, well, God, you know, I tried to do right. How come it didn't work? We got to be taught what right is. So, and we know. In other words, I'm the one that is prepared. And I'm not saying it because I'm boasting. This man-child had to be prepared. And this is why it reads in Ezekiel quite often. You see it in there where the Lord is saying, telling the man-child, go do this and go do that. And he's asking, well, Lord, what about so and so and so? Well, you do this and you do that. Because the God prepared you. Anyone else stands up to do anything, you may have good in your heart, but you don't have the keys. So now it's here. The key is here. The man is here. The knowledge is here. And it's not a book in the form of a book. You know, it can talk back to you.
Well, I thank you for answering my question.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Come right up, brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
The thing I want to know is, why is it that the people stereotype Islam? What I'm saying is, what is it that we can do that can get the people to open up to the truth and the light that Allah has revealed to us, that can uplift us and that can save us from the things that is pulling us down?
Well, what makes people very reluctant to accept Islam is fear of existing. As of today, they don't see no physical advantage of being a Muslim. You don't have no jobs. We don't have no homes. We don't, and in our lesson it said the poor, righteous Muslim, we are still poor. So what are you actually, just to say, well, we got knowledge, we want to share this with you. Once you start sharing this type of knowledge with people, it don't leave them alone. So if they want to be comfortable and don't have to fight the powers that they're in, they say, no, we don't want no part of that. They know you're right, but they have to change, and they don't know how to change and still keep what they think a viable life that they have. The employers, most of them are white. They come to find that they're Muslim, they get fired. So if they come to you and say, listen, you give me this knowledge, now I'm a Muslim, whatnot, and I don't have no job. You can't give them one. But however, Solomon has an inheritance. The ones that came under the messenger's teaching for the 40 years, the people that gave, donated, and some of them gave their life, they didn't do that for the son to actually come about, this spiritual son, and he don't have nothing. No. What they gave, it has multiplied several times, because the way Allah put it, nothing stays stagnant. I don't know if you all heard the story about the talents that Allah gave the three people. He gave them talents. One, multiplied his several times. One multiplied his a few times. One buried his. Well, it's the same thing with this. It's not that God didn't know about me, or the wise people didn't know. They planned it. So if they gave me all this knowledge and didn't provide a means of what this world calls power, which is money, well, then they would have done a disservice to me. I got all this knowledge, but I can't do nothing. I can't go, if I go to the bank and say, well, listen, I'm a Muslim, and I got this knowledge, and I want to borrow so-and-so. And the first thing the people in the bank will tell me, because they know Islam also, they'll tell me, well, the first thing, a Muslim don't borrow. So what you doing here? See, so the God has in the preparation, it's not that he just prepared me with knowledge. Solomon has this inheritance that he is supposed to make sure that all of the righteous is served and taken care of, especially the 144,000 are the ones that worked in the vineyard first. So my duty is to make sure that I use the knowledge properly to get to it. It isn't something that, well, it's not left in the way, well, I'm Solomon, so I just go get it. It don't work that way. They'll say, well, yes, you're Solomon, there it is over there. But they got alligators, snakes, poison, reptiles, and mosquitoes, and darkness, and all kinds of things. So I got to use all the knowledge to make sure that I'm confirmed in the knowledge to get to it. And once I'm there, it's over with. So then when you share the knowledge, and somebody says, well, I want to be a Muslim, come on. Well, I need a job. Well, the book reads that the harvest is ripe, but the laborers are few. And that's actually true. A lot of young brothers that will be coming today, even after we get things started, and it's an attraction, people are going to come. But they're going to be so doped up, tore up, that we're not going to be able to use quite a bit of them. We almost have to, I have to have a place set aside if I'm actually going to heal them, if I got that much time, to make sure that they come back into something or being into themselves enough to even start to save. We're in a hell of a condition, and it's set up to make sure you don't get out of it. The only way you're going to get out is like it reads in Genesis, that God would bring us out with great substance. Not that the devil's going to bring us out with reparations or anybody else. Nobody else going to help us get out of this 400 years of misery and affliction. God himself said, I will come and bring you out with great substance. And he does it from one. I represent the whole, but I'm the one gave the knowledge to, and I'm sharing it with whoever wants it. That clear? So don't worry about them not wanting to accept Islam. That's short-lived. Because what's on them now, when they see what we're doing, matter of fact, if they just start hearing it the way that I share it, they'll come. Because this Islam that I share does not pose a burden on you. There's no such thing where you're going to come and do this, but you can't work for white people. If you're intelligent, you do whatever you have to do for the time. know, you just know that it's not going to be forever. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
They're going to come. It's not like time is standing still. If the day is dreadful, it means it's going to get worse and worse. And in the Bible here, it reads, I think it's in Jeremiah, that the earth is going to reel and rock like a drunk man from the misery that people are going to be experiencing on this and the power that God is going to be putting on it. So believe me, it's going to be like the prodigal son. They're going to look at us and look at you being the most.
Okay, thank y'all for listening. We'll be back next time. Any questions in chat before I leave? All right, thanks again.